Hi everyone and happy Sunday. Today is July the 8th. It's currently 4:30 in the morning. I haven't slept all night. It's been a bad night, so I figured since I am awake, I might as well get started on some of the things for my meal prep and see how much I can get done before I crash out and then start when I wake up again. So what I'm going to be making this time, I don't have as much to prep this time because I'm making a crock pot meal. So that will save me a lot of time. That's 4 meals from the crock pot. So what I'm going to be making for this week is Blessed Jess's chili, and I will leave a link to her channel and her video for her chili in the description below. She's a vlogger here on YouTube. So I'm going to be making her chili. I'm also going to be making, and it is vegan, there's no meat involved. I'm going to be making the sweet potato black bean burgers, as well as a batch of granola and a 4-bean salad. So the 4-bean salad and the burgers will go together for 4 meals, and the chili with my healthier tortilla chips that I got will go for 4 meals. Plus, I already have 2 of the beet, sauerkraut, and quinoa bowls already made, and those will be for 2 lunches. Plus, I have other things I'll explain later, and I'm going to use the granola with for lunches. Plus, a couple lunches will be waffles with peanut butter and blueberries, or a smoothie. So this will take care of all my meals, my dinner meals for the week. And let's get started. Okay, so here's what I've got started so far. I'm using dried beans for my chili. So they have been soaking and I have them cooking in my crock pot right now. So by the time morning comes, I'll be ready to add the sauce. I have them on high. So I have the sauces here. I'm going to triple mine because I'm going to be giving away some as well as freezing some. And then I'll have 4 servings for me for the week. So what I have here is the 2 tomato sauces. And I thought I had 3 tomato sauces, but I had a diced tomato. So I'm just going to use that with 2 cans of the Rotel. And now I'm going to measure out my seasonings. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Now, I don't have chili powder, so I got the chili seasoning. And so, a packet of chili seasoning. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of cumin. I'm going to add a little less because it smells a little strong. So I'm just going to add that much of the cumin. I'd rather add more later than add too much at the beginning. I'm not sure how I feel about cumin yet, so. Then a teaspoon of oregano. This is the oregano that I'm using. It's just Spice Supreme oregano. I don't even remember where I got it. Probably Walmart or Kroger. Alright, 2 teaspoons. And that's it for my seasonings. So I'll give that a stir, just to mix it all up. That smells good already. Alright, so I've got my chili going, and it is smelling amazing in here. I know chili is not usually a popular thing to have in the summer, but I love chili, so there's that. So this is perfectly vegan, just beans, tomatoes, and spices. And it still has a few hours to cook before I can start letting it cool. But that's my chili so far. Alright, my last step for my chili is going to be, I'm going to use 1/4 cup of masa, which is corn flour, and you mix it with enough water till it's thin, and then you're going to stir that into your chili. So that's what I'm going to do right now. See if I can hold the phone and I'm going to scoop the rest of it in and I will come right back. Alright, I got the rest of my masa mixture combined, and as you can see that helped it thicken up and it looks delicious. So I'm going to turn the heat off of that and let it cool so I'll be ready to dish it up for my meals. Alright, now I'm going to get started on my granola. So I already have 1/4 cup of coconut oil in my container, and I'm adding 1/4 cup of honey. And I'm going to mix that all up. And to that I'm going to make it pumpkin pie flavored. So I'm going to add some pumpkin pie spice. I don't really have a measurement for it. Just kind of eyeballing it. That's probably enough. I'll get that all mixed in there. Oh, it smells like fall. Is anybody else excited for fall? Or is it just me because it smells like fall? Alright, I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so what I've done is I lined my baking sheet with parchment paper and spread my granola out, and I will bake it for 30 minutes at 300 degrees, and then we'll see what it looks like after that. Alright, I just pulled my granola out of the oven, and as you can see it's nice and crispy. Got a little bit too crispy on that side, but that's okay. It's cooling very nicely. Some nice little chunks there. A lot of it is not chunked, but that's fine. I have some almond milk. I'm going to have it as cereal a couple days and over a smoothie one day, but I will get to that in a later time. Alright, I'm moving on to my bean salad now, In this bowl, I have a can of green beans, a can of wax beans, a can of kidney beans, and a can of garbanzo beans. To that, we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of minced onions, 1/3 of a cup of oil, 2/3 cup of vinegar, 1, 2, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And even though that seems like a lot of sugar, you're not going to be eating the brine. You're only going to let it sit in it, so you're not going to be ingesting it all. ½ teaspoon of salt, and a ½ teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. And then you're going to stir to combine. Once it's all combined, you're going to let it sit for at least 8 hours. I'm going to let it sit for a couple hours in this bowl before I transfer it to individual bowls to put into the fridge. Alright, so I have my bean salad portioned into my 3 containers, and these will be for the nights that I have my black bean sweet potato burgers. I'm going to put them in a separate container so they don't get soggy from the liquid, and then when I'm ready to eat these, I will drain off the liquid before I eat the beans. Alright, now I'm ready to move on to my black bean sweet potato burgers. For this recipe, you're going to need 1½ cups of cooked quinoa, and to that I'm going to be adding 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of minced onion, cayenne pepper to taste, 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Next, you're going to need 1 can of black beans, rinsed and drained, and 3 cups of cubed cooked sweet potatoes. You're going to mash the sweet potatoes and the black beans until they are once the burger meat the fake meat is a lumpy consistency, you're going to add your quinoa and spices to the bowl. Next, you're going to take your baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I'm just using the same one I used for my granola since it's still clean. Spray it with some cooking spray. And then you're going to form your burger patties into patties with your hand. The directions say to use 1/3 of a cup of burger meat, black bean, sweet potato, quinoa meat. But I found that a half a cup is better to make 8, because if I used 1/3 of a cup, I would have a lot of left over, a lot more than 8 patties. So I used a half a cup of serving for each patty, and that made 8 patties. And these are going to go in the oven for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them and do another 20 minutes on the other side. So I'll check back when they come out of the oven. Okay, meal prep is done. 2 of the quinoa, beet, and sauerkraut Buddha bowls, 3 bowls of the 4-bean salad, which I'll eat with my sweet potato black bean burgers that kind of fell apart, but they'll be okay. I plan on making a vegan mayonnaise to top them with, so they will be just fine. Even though they fell apart, they'll still be delicious. So there's 4 dinner meals and 2 lunch meals. Alright, and here is my chili. I have 5 containers. I also gave 1 container away and froze a container. Each of these containers holds 3 cups, and this will be enough for 5 meals. And I'll have those with a serving of the black bean tortilla chips. Alright, here is 8 dinners and 2 lunches. All ready for the week. The rest of the lunches will be things that I make fresh for that day, like a waffle with peanut butter and blueberries, a smoothie, or a salad. And don't mind the dirty dishes, the aftermath of cooking. Along with the meals, I also prepped my tortilla chips. I portioned them out in bags, so I just grab a bag when I'm eating. There's 4 bags of the 1 serving of black bean tortilla chips. I also made a batch of granola, and this will be for smoothie bowls and just to eat as cereal. I portioned it out in 1/4 cups for the smoothie bowls, and I have 11 of the 1/4 cup servings, and then I got 2 of the 1 cup serving sizes for cereal. So everything goes in the basket, and then I just pick out what I need when it's time to eat. So there we go. A week's worth of food. No mess, no fuss, no trying to decide what to eat. It's already made. See y'all next weekend.